Oh, come here.
Adolf.
If I, okay, get in. Now, are you ready to go? You gotta sit. Stay. Wait.
So we're here with Tony D'Agostino today. And tell us a little bit about your garage here, Tony. We know that you put this out as an addition to your house a couple of years ago. And
Well, really, when the house got rebuilt, the house got totally remodeled. It went from a 1,800 square foot house to 6,600 square feet. And I went from an oversized 2-car garage to an oversized 4-car garage. So that's what we have now. And I try to keep the vehicles up here that I use on a more regular basis, or that I want to keep more secure than just an outdoor pole barns.
tell us about Adolf's favorite car here.
Adolf loves this 70 Challenger convertible. It's definitely the least performance car that I have. It's only a 318, but I have probably the most fun in this car than I do in any of the others because I don't have to worry about it as much. If Adolf was in any one of my other cars, I'd probably be having a heart attack right now. He'd be calling the EMTs. He's only whining because we're not moving. As soon as the car moves, the whines go away and his head's out the window grabbing air.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about this 32, Tony.
This 1932 Ford Roadster with a Chrysler, 50s Chrysler Hemi in it. My uncle originally bought in the early 1950s, and he, along with his brothers, including my dad, built the car. And it was a pretty hot car around the Bronx, New York in the 50s into the 60s. Matter of fact, my dad borrowed this car, and him and my mom dated. They took it out on dates at the second annual U.S. National, 1956 in Kansas City. And you know, he raced it in that. He's in the program. You know, I got a couple copies of the original program. He's in that, and that was sort of cool. It still has the sticker on the dash from when he raced out there. He ran on Daytona on the sands. And all over the Bronx on the streets too.
But tell me a little bit about the motor he put in here.
He's had a few different motors in this. Like most hot rods, they don't, they evolve. He started off with a 331, then a 354, and then eventually in the 60s went to a 413. So I went back to the 50s Hemi motor because that's how it did run when it was at the U.S. Nationals. I tried to keep it as true to what he had, to how it was when he had it and drove it. A couple things got changed, but for the most part, it's got a lot of original stuff on it. It still has the original spare tire from when he had it. It's got the original gauges in it from the 50s, original headlights, horn, and it's a real Henry Steele 32.
Tony,
Roadster.
tell us a little bit about this Dodge Daytona that's here.
This here is my '69 Dodge Daytona. It's arguably one of the best restored Daytonas on the planet. It's the highest scoring wing car at the McCacken show in Chicago. It's one of only 2 white with a red wing and red interior. I'm not trying to slice and dice and make it sound rare, but it is a desirable and rare combination. It's not some weird oddball that's just oddball because nobody wanted it, but I think it's a very beautiful combination. And this car has been restored with 0 reproduction parts. Even the interior was stitched from dated material. Everything under the hood, engine wiring harness was NOS, spark plug wires, cast rotor, every bit of detail, plug wires, belts, hoses, even the carpeting. I was fortunate to be able to get NOS. Some of the stuff I just surprised myself. I came up with NOS C-tracks. I don't know how. I was at an auction one time. I bought them way before I had the car even. A lot of the parts I had bought, it went into my stash, and that's how I had them. And
Waiting for the day the right car was there to get fixed up.
And this was definitely the right car for those parts.
Absolutely. And Mike Mancini did this for you, correct?
Mike Mancini from American Muscle Car Restorations in Rhode Island. He restored the car.
And then it scored 999 points at McCacken because nobody's perfect, even though it was close to perfect.
It was awarded 1,000, but they knocked it down a point just because they didn't want to have any drama if somebody got a perfect score. So I guess that's
Very cool.
how it works there.
Very cool. And the car is a 440 car.
Oh yeah, everything, all numbers matching. Nothing real fancy for options, just a tack and the wood grain wheel, console, automatic. But it's a color combination that really attracted me to the car and the car has been sitting in a storage facility since the early 70s. And,
Wow.
And that's why none of the body panels needed replacement. I mean, none of them had rot. None of the body panels had rot. There was some floor rot just from the way it was stored. There was a big mouse house there, and all the mouse urine ate through it. But as far as the body from driving, no way. The body was solid.
That's
Right,
awesome.
this is a Survivor, unrestored Survivor. A friend of mine, Ryan, was buying this car and wanted me to inspect it for him before he bought it. So I spent a few hours looking at the car, and I says, "Man, this is a good car." I says, "If you decide to sell it, let me know." Well, Ryan loves cars a lot, but he usually doesn't stick with them for too long. And a few months later, I got the call, and that was it. I bought the car, and it just needed a couple very minor detailing things. But this is a 5,000 mile 66 Hemi Satellite that was sold new 20 miles from here.
Wow, wow.
It's
So for you, it's also got a regional interest as well.
yeah, it's a local car, and the fella bought it. He owned James Jewelers, and he went by the name of Jesse James. And
Jesse James Jewelers, you gotta love that.
he bought the car to race, which is surprisingly that he bought the top model and he ordered a bunch of options on the car. I mean, rear speaker, factory tack, clock, rear defrost, remote mirrors. There weren't that many options you can get in '66, but he ordered a bunch of stuff that added weight to the car, and also the trim level did. And then he raced it locally, pretty much just bolt-on stuff, changing gears, changing the cam, tires, a shift kit. He kept all the original parts. Yeah, this car has the original drive shaft in it with a stenciled on part number, which is just about non-existent. I haven't seen another car like it. It has all the markings on the rear end, all the paint dabs and numbers that indicate what ratio it is, that it's a sure grip, which was an option. It's so clean. The car has been garaged its whole life. So there's no patina underneath the car. It's beautiful. It has the original exhaust.